This is Yankees baseball on My 9.
On an overcast evening, the Subway Series has shifted venues, and now it's in Queens. Not a long road trip for the Yankees. It is time for baseball as My 9 presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the New York Mets in the third game of this four-game set from Citi Field in Flushing, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. Well, it has not been pretty for the Yankees. They lost again last night. 12-7, a sloppy game on both sides. Offensively for the Mets, well, an old guy from the Yankees ended up hurting them, starting with Curtis Granderson.
Yeah, welcome back to the Bronx, Curtis. The Grandy man can, and Yankee fans remember this. And if you remember back to when the Yankees first traded for Granderson, this is what they had in mind, and they were right. And Granderson gave us a big reminder as to why he fits that stadium. And then Daniel Murphy unloads with a little body anguish off the top of the foul pole, and that lit up the Mets bench. And from that point on, the Mets took control of that game.
If you take a look at the numbers from the first two games, the only one that's overwhelming is the wins. The runs, okay, the Mets 21-14, average about the same. The Mets have out-homered the Yankees. Both teams' pitching staffs have been awful, but the Mets have won the last 6 meetings dating back to last year against the Yankees. What the Yankees haven't been doing is getting hits with runners in scoring position. Maybe Brian McCann could be that guy, and maybe he turned the corner last night.
Yeah, I really liked his approach last night. The problem early in the year with McCann was kind of chasing too many pitches out of the zone, not taking the walk when it's there. That's what the Yankees saw with McCann. He's got a tailor-made swing for Yankee Stadium in the short porch, but he bought himself a lot of fastballs last night, got deep into some counts, much better hitting pitches. So McCann needs to do that. That's his profile. That's the way he hit with the Braves. It was a good sign last night for Brian McCann.
Well, when a team is struggling, what do you want? You want your ace on the mound. And really, right now, Masahiro Tanaka is the ace, and the splitter makes him the ace. David Cohn will break down what makes this guy so good next on My 9. Pitching matchup brought to you by Six Flags. Great adventure. Save big on tickets at sixflags.com. Rafael Montero is going to make his Major League debut. That's what he did in AAA. And for the Yankees, Masahiro Tanaka will get the start. What separates Tanaka from others, Dave, it has to be that splitter.
It is that splitter. I mean, he is a complete pitcher, but when he gets in trouble and he needs to get swings and misses, that's how he grips the baseball. As you see right out of the hand, the true definition of a splitter, the late break going down. He can make it go right to left, almost slider-like to right-handed batters, and he can make it go away from lefties as well. Very difficult to manufacture that kind of movement on a split-finger fastball, having thrown it myself, Michael. And you see Tanaka, that's how you get guys to swinging balls in the dirt, because of the arm action, the velocity, and the tight spin on that splitter that Tanaka gets. One of the best in the world, or certainly one of the best I've ever seen.
Yankees are hoping that he snaps their 4-game losing streak. The Subway Series shifts to another site. We're in Citi Field when we get back. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees, Mets on My 9. In part by Toyota. The Toyota Time Sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By GMC. Visit TriStateGMC.com for great lease offers. And by Chase. Banking for the life you have. Investing for the life you want. Well, the Yankees are in Queens at Citi Field. A big crowd as expected here in Flushing, as these two teams meet for the third time in this split-level 4-game set. And the Yankees need a win. Obviously, nothing drastic. They're 19-19. No one in the American League East is pulling away, David. But they've got to feel better about themselves. They haven't been hitting, so many injuries. You're still unsure about Carlos Beltran, when he'll get back. And you know that CC has a bad knee. They need a win just to be in the right frame of mind. Yeah, that's what they call it on the bench, is you need a stopper. And every rotation needs one, and Tanaka is that guy. I mean, he hasn't lost a game in almost 2 years, so that is the definition of a stopper. And you hate to put that much pressure on one guy, but that's what you need to stop losing streaks, is a big-time pitching performance, and the Yankees need it very badly tonight. Now, over the last couple of years, really the last couple of decades, when the Yankees face a young pitcher, they usually struggle, at least for the first couple of innings. What do you know about Montero, and do you think he would be a guy that could give this Yankee lineup trouble? Well, he's not left-handed, right. So that helps, because Yankees have perennially kind of struggled against young lefties. But no, he's a control artist. He does have pretty decent velocity, but he's highly touted as a guy who throws strikes and has good mound presence. Not really an overpowering guy, though. All right, so the Mets have taken the field. This should be a fun matchup. Game 3, as I mentioned, of the 4-game set. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is brought to you by Hyundai. Hyundai leaves the rest wanting. Find out why by visiting buyhyundai.com today. Brett Gardner is in left field. He's going to lead off. Batting second, the captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter. Jacoby Ellsbury is in center field. He'll hit third. Cleaning up, first baseman Mark Teixeira. Brian McCann with 3 hits last night. He'll catch. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Alfonso Soriano. Yanherbis Solarte. He leads the American League in hitting. The third baseman will bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing second base, Brian Roberts. And the starter for the New York Yankees is Masahiro Tanaka.
And here he is. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Now go face the Yankees. And you see his AAA numbers, very good. 18 walks to 41 strikeouts, 3 home runs allowed. And that is in Las Vegas, which is a tough place to pitch. Go ahead and give you the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your local Acura dealer, and the future is now. He actually started the Futures game at Citi Field last year during All-Star Week, which is a big honor for a youngster in the minor leagues. And as we said, he's highly touted, ranked the 3rd best Mets prospect by Baseball America. The #1 guy is still in the minor leagues, Noah Syndergaard, that came over in the R.A. Dickey trade. So there's a lot of young arms that are going to be coming up to the Mets, and that's a good sign for them. And the book on him is plus command. He's got an idea of what he's doing out there. He really shoots for the corners, hits that outside corner or not. He's got good, solid mechanics. Looks like he knows what he's doing out there and has control of all of his pitches.
All right, let's see the defense behind him tonight here at Citi Field. In left field, it's Eric Young Jr. In center field, it's Chris Young. And at right, you've got Curtis Granderson. In the infield, Wright, Tejada, Murphy, and Duda third to first. Anthony Recker gets to start behind the plate. And Montero is on the mound. No matter how calm and cool you are, this has to unnerve you just a bit if you're a kid. His heart's probably beating to his chest. You work your whole life to get to this point, and here you are in the big leagues, and it's in the Subway Series in front of a nice crowd against the New York Yankees. So we'll see how Rafael Montero fares.
Michael, I could not feel my legs in my Major League debut. I mean, you just can't help it. It's something you have to go through and get yourself through it, but no doubt you can feel some physical effects from being so nervous on a debut like this.
Gardner's ready. Montero is ready. And let's do it here in Flushing, Queens. First pitch is bunted foul, and we are underway. Tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by your local Lexus dealer. Defense straight away. Wright is in on the grass to guard against the bunt. That one is looped into left center field. It is going to dunk in for a base hit. Chris Young fields. It's a single for Brett Gardner. So now we'll see how Montero holds runners on. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Citi Field crowd has a nice hand for Derek Jeter. Nothing raucous like it was in Anaheim or Milwaukee. Now a Derek Jeter chant is rising from the crowd. Pitch outside.
Familiar Derek Jeter always stepping out of the box and looking for signs, giving Rob Thompson a chance, and giving the fans a chance to take some pictures too.
Count 1-1.
You see a lot of big leaguers that have been around 20 years that just kind of look over their shoulder at the third base coach. Not Derek. Full respect. One of the keys with Derek batting second, Gardner on, is keep Gardner going early, because Derek does have a high ground ball rate. So I'm going to try to stay away from a double play with Gardner's speed.
Strike. 1-2. Montero's nickname is Little Pedro. His game is a little like Pedro Martinez. Doesn't really look like Pedro, but they do call him Little Pedro.
Well, Pedro Martinez has influenced a whole generation of young pitchers. Fastball, changeup. Changeup's his second best pitch. Slider's his third best pitch.
Two and two. Yankees are 8-6 against the Mets in Citi Field Open. But as we mentioned during the Open, the Mets have beaten the Yankees 6 in a row dating back to last year. Chopped right back to Montero. He fires the second one on to first, not in time.
Another good pitch from Montero. You see it just ties up Jeter. Good fastball in. A little bit of a low throw. Not enough time to turn and get two.
That's going to bring up Jacoby Ellsbury, really in his first slump as a Yankee. 4 hits and 21 at bats. The average down to 291. Jeter held on first by Duda. Oh and 1.
A nice loose arm on Montero. Good life on his fastball.
Count 1-1. Bringing up Montero now, and also yesterday bringing up Jacob deGrom, sends a message to the team and to the fans that they're not so preoccupied with money, because you've started these youngsters' arbitration clock, which means they're probably not going to be Super 2s, and that means the Mets will have to deal with an extra year of arbitration if these kids end up staying here that long. So it does show them, listen, we're trying to win. 1 and 2.
Yeah, and Terry Collins, the Mets manager, really pushed for this move, because not only did he want Montero up here because he likes his stuff and that he has good command, and that's the key for a young pitcher. When you're going to bring up a young pitcher, you want to feel like he's got good mechanics and he's going to be around the plate, and throwing strikes is not going to be a problem, and that's a pretty simple delivery and a nice loose arm. Good arm speed through the zone when he releases it. Terry Collins also got a chance to get Mejia in the bullpen, which has been a problem.
1-2. Foul back.
A lot of people thought that the move for the next young pitcher would be Noah Syndergaard that we've mentioned before. He had a great spring training, big right-hander, hard thrower, but I don't think his command is quite far enough along yet to make that move. And because Montero has such good control, he's the one who got the call over Syndergaard.
So they count 2-2 on Ellsbury. Each team comes into this game at 19-19. Mets riding a 3-game winning streak. They're high for the year. Yankees have lost 4 in a row. The 2-2. 3-2. National League ballpark. Obviously no designated hitter in the line. Each pitcher will have to hit. Jeter goes. Fly ball, shallow center. Going back is Tejada. He makes a nice catch over the shoulder and fires to first, but Jeter gets back. That's a really good play by the Mets shortstop.
Well, Tejada's got range, no doubt about it. And Michael's right. He did cover a lot of ground, almost Derek Jeter-like. That's one of Derek Jeter's best plays. He's always been very adept at these sort of over-the-shoulder, get out there and cover a lot of ground and make the play.
Here's Mark Teixeira. You know, Tejada has played so well the last couple of games. He's fending off Wilmer Flores. They brought Flores up to be the shortstop, even though he's not good defensively. They needed some pop in their lineup, but they started to hit, and he's making some nice plays in the field, timely hits as well. And Flores is now on the bench. High fly ball, shallow right. Murphy makes the play way out there in right field in front of Granderson for the final out. No runs, a hit, then one man left. Yankees nothing, and the Mets coming back. Tanaka. Then we'll take a look at the Mets starting lineup, brought to you by Lord & Taylor. Eric Young Jr. in left field will lead off, batting second, and playing second, Daniel Murphy. David Wright at third base hits third, cleaning up the right fielder, Curtis Granderson. Then it's Chris Young in center, Lucas Duda at first, Anthony Recker will catch, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Ruben Tejada. Rafael Montero is going to pitch and bat ninth.
Can't miss opportunities for Yankee fans, as this guy has not lost a game in a long time, going back to strikeouts. Still only 7 walks, might be the most impressive number on that list. Let's go ahead and give you the New York Yankees pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers. And a hard split, well, that's in reference to the velocity of the split. Pretty close to 87 miles an hour. Does he average on that splitter? And cut to the chase, well, almost 40% of the swings against him are on pitches out of the strike zone. Right percentage ties him with Irvin Santana of the Braves for the major league lead, and that just means he misses a lot of bats, a lot of full swings, and a lot of swings and misses.
Last time he lost a regular season game was August of 2012. Now, he did lose Game 6 of the Japan Series last year. Came back the next day with no rest to save the game and win the championship for his Rakuten team. Here's Eric Young. You want to keep him off the bases. He has 15 stolen bases. The matchup of Tanaka against Montero was summed up by Mets GM Sandy Alderson, who called it, it's like David and Goliath. One guy has never lost and one guy's never pitched. He said, I just hope our guy has some rocks. There's a strike. So 1 inning under his belt here in the major leagues for Montero. Shows bunt and takes outside. Tanaka, a student of the game, obviously closely watching the first 2 games, seeing how he'll pitch these batters, and he has everybody on video, which he watches before he takes the mound, and the solitude of the clubhouse. He gets the lineup sheet early. He stands with it in one hand, and he's got the iPad with all the video on the other, and he goes leadoff batter, second batter, and watches their weaknesses and how he's going to pitch to them. So he's not just out there without thinking.
Tremendous advantage to have that sort of visual for a pitcher. Back in the day, all you had to do was, well, the only thing you had to work with was an old scouting report.
Two to Young. Chop toward first. Teixeira beats Young to the bag for the first out. Why don't we take a look at the Yankee defense behind Tanaka tonight? We'll start with first because we've already seen Teixeira. Then there's Roberts at second, Jeter at short, Solarte is at third. Go the other way in the outfield, left to right. Gardner, Ellsbury, and Soriano. Brian McCann behind the plate with Tanaka on the mound. You remember Shea Stadium, right, David?
Indeed.
And that's the Shea Bridge out in right center field.
Shea Stadium was a good pitcher's park, and so is Citi Field for that matter.
There's Daniel Murphy. 1-0. Murphy's hitting .320 as a 5-game hitting streak with 8 hits and 20 at-bats during that time.
You know, Michael, when I say, it's a good pitcher's park, this mound looks really good. And what I'm talking about is not only the dimensions, it's hard to hit homers here, but what Tanaka's looking at right now with the brick wall behind him, it's a good depth perception, meaning you feel like you're right on top of the hitter. The backstops, there's not a lot of foul territory between home plate and the backstop, so that visual makes you feel like you're throwing the ball harder. It makes you feel like you're closer to home plate.
1-2.
Not a whole lot of room there. And from a pitching standpoint, that's a good thing. The more room there is back behind home plate, the further you feel away from home plate as a pitcher, at least visually looking at it. All pitchers like to feel like they're right on top of the hitter.
1-2. That one's laced in the left field, a base hit. 6-game hitting streak for Murphy. Well, David Wright had a good first 2 games at Yankee Stadium. And if you take a look, career at the home ballpark, Shea Stadium in Citi Field, 318 at Shea, 286 at Citi. More home runs at Shea and more RBIs. And he had just 5 home runs at Citi Field during the inaugural season. Now they've made the outfield a little bit, the outfield fences, they brought them in just a little bit. This is a very big park.
Yeah, he didn't get any help in right center, and David Wright's always been able to drive the ball out away, and Citi Field is just not conducive to that. 390 in the far right gap in right center and 375 in the medium gaps. That's a long way for a right-handed hitter to shoot it that way.
I think it got inside his head, too.
Got inside a lot of hitters' heads, but yeah, especially David Wright. Shea Stadium was more symmetrical. You could, as a right-handed batter, you could hit the ball the other way and get some home runs. Here, very difficult.
Well, you don't build a ballpark for one player, but he is your franchise player, and you took away part of his strength. And although everybody says you can't build a ballpark for one player, when the Yankees initially built Yankee Stadium, they built it for Babe Ruth. They had a short right field porch. The Mets seem like they built this ballpark to play against their star player, and I think it's hurt him. It's hurt his power for sure.
Well, there's no doubt that the owner of the Mets, Fred Wilpon, was a high school teammate of Sandy Koufax. He was a pitcher himself. You know where his loyalties lie. He was a left-handed pitcher, a very good one, too. A lot of people thought that he might get signed as a professional along with Koufax. Fred Wilpon, a fan of pitching and The dimensions of this ballpark kind of bear that out.
Fly ball, right field. Soriano makes the catch on the track. He'll fire in. Now, David, is that a home run at Yankee Stadium?
That's a home run at Yankee Stadium. That's a home run at Shea Stadium. Not here at Citi Field. This is exactly right on cue, Michael. This is what we're talking about. And David Wright has always had that ability to drive the ball away, up and out over the plate. It's really the strength of his game. He's driving the ball away.
No one was looking just now, and Daniel Murphy took off and stole second, David. Derek Jeter screaming at Solarte, turn around, turn around. They were looking into the outfield, and Daniel Murphy took off and just stole second base. Tanaka had the ball. He had no one to throw to.
One of the byproducts of the extreme shift, where infielders are not used to being this far out of position.
Anderson swings and misses. Let's take a look at what happened there. See, Solarte's just walking out to the outfield, and Murphy says he's not looking. No one's looking.
Boy, really heads-up play from Daniel Murphy. Caught napping.
Driven to right field. Soriano makes the play, and the brain lock in the infield does not hurt the Yankees. No runs a hit. One man left. We go to the second. 0-0. That can put a smile on your face every weekday afternoon. Survey says a full hour of Family Feud. Join Steve Harvey every weekday on My 9 for outrageous answers, fast money, and big-time fun. It's time to play the feud. Weekdays starting at 5 here on My 9. The scoreboard says 0-0 as Montero prepares to pitch to McCann. And there's a strike, and the scoreboard is brought to you by Snyder's of Hanover. Taste how great a pretzel can be. You know, David, getting back to that play where Murphy stole second, and this isn't just the Yankees. Everybody is shifting so much more than they ever did, and their extreme shifts. It seems like they haven't figured out responsibility. Covering bunts. How are you going to get over to first? How are you going to cover stolen base? I think they've got the hitting part down, but I think it's also affecting some of the defense because they can't cover weird plays.
It's a great point, and there is still a lot of wrinkles to be ironed out, including adjustments by the hitters to these shifts. We're just scratching the surface on this new way of playing defense in Major League Baseball. Some teams are more progressive than others, but there will be adjustments from the hitters, and yes, the assignments by the infielders.
McCann with a high fly ball down the right field line. Granderson comes over, but that's going to make the seats. Three-two. Grounded and grabbed there by Tejada. Fires to first, and they get Duda. And there's an instance where a shift took a hit away from McCann. Earlier today, Joe Girardi talked about all of these shifts.
You're right. 95 times out of 100, where he was going to pull the ball and hit it hard, but you might lose 5 just on an accident. You're going to play the percentages, but if the percentages start to lean the other way, you'll change.
Well, the Yankees, the team that shifts the most in the the second most in the American League and in Major Leagues. Houston Astros first, and the Yankees are second. Soriano fouls it back.
Well, one of the keys with any metrics in terms of defensive metrics and what you're going to use is going to come down to sample sizes, and a lot of the younger hitters, you don't have a lot of information yet. So some of this data is incomplete. A guy like Rafael Soriano's got a long Major League career. There's plenty of data, a large sample size of where he hits his ground balls. But a guy like Yangervis Solarte, not a lot.
Grounded to short. Tejada. Long throw. Gets Soriano. David, you're so right, and it was so odd that when the Yankees played the Red Sox, Jackie Bradley Jr., and they don't have a full body of work from Jackie, and they played him with an extreme shift, 3 infielders on the right side, and really Jackie Bradley Jr. is a rookie, and he had some time up last year, but obviously they're scouting the minors as well.
You get some data from the minor league games too, but that's not Major League pitching, and every hitter reacts differently to Major League pitching, so there is going to have to be adjustments with younger players.
Solarte inside. With Solarte, you're watching and looking at the American League's leading hitter. Tonight's league leader is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. Go online to mybobs.com. 336 tied with Victor Martinez. Count 2-0.
Well, everybody obviously wants to know, can Solarte keep this up? Is this for real? Well, that's for real. He's leading the league right now, and we're about a quarter of the way done with the season. But the thing that's impressive is his approach. He's not afraid to get into some deep counts. He's taken enough walks to show that, he's a little bit more selective than he was given credit for. He just, not only has he swung the bat well and hit the ball hard, but he gets good counts, and he's not chasing a lot of bad pitches.
He's over 300 from both sides, a 365 hitter from the left side, and 302 from the right side. All of his homers have come from this side. The 3-1. And that's what he does that we didn't know about. We had heard when he made the team, you know what? He's going to put the ball in play. He's not going to walk a lot, but he does take his walks. And the one question we all get asked the most, well, if he's this good, then how was he in the minor leagues for 8 years? Well, that's a good question. And the only thing that you can come up with, no one thought he had a position. He was really profiled as a shortstop. He's not a good shortstop. But he's played a decent third base for the Yankees. He's pretty good at second, and he'll catch the ball at short. His bat just didn't play bigger than their lack of faith in him as a shortstop. Here's Brian Roberts.
Didn't really profile as a guy that was a speed burner or a power hitter.
That one is ripped to right field. And it's a foul ball. And what's really interesting is, he spent 8 years in the minors, and most of those with the Minnesota Twins, who are usually very good at scouting and picking out what's good, what's going to help their big league club. And he was down there for 6 years, and then he went to Texas for 2.
It's a great point, Michael. It's easy to understand in Texas where you can get lost because they have a lot of young, talented infielders. Jurickson Profar is one of the best in the game. They have several good young infielders in the Texas organization, but Minnesota, a bit of a surprise.
Well, the Yankees are fortunate they found him because they've been a little short on offense, and he's picked up some of the slack. The 0-2 laced into left field, and that is going to fall in for a base hit, and it gets past Eric Young. It's going to roll to the wall. Solarte will score. Brian Roberts will go to third, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. That's an ill-advised play for Eric Young. You've got the pitcher coming up next. You keep the ball in front of you, and you get out of the inning.
No doubt about it. And now Tanaka's got the lead. Even though it's early, but Brian Roberts really has swung the bat well for an extended period of time now after a slow start. And Michael's exactly right. I mean, he's not even close to that. That ball landed at least 6 feet in front of him. A great effort. Wrong time to make the dive, though, as Michael said.
Here's Tanaka. And there's a strike. Bryant's trip around the bases as he goes to third with a stand-up triple. Chop foul and the count 0-2. In Milwaukee, 0 for 3, 3 for 37 as a hitter in Japan. Watching him in batting practice, he actually swings the bat pretty well. And did start as a baseball player as a catcher before being shifted to pitcher. The 1-2. 2-2.
There are times as a pitcher when you're hitting where sometimes, maybe you don't want to really exert a lot of effort, or you're going to not give up an at-bat, but this isn't that situation with an RBI on third standing there and a chance to increase the lead but to 2-0. There were times when I hit for the Mets, Michael, and Nolan Ryan was on the mound, or a really hard thrower. You didn't want to hit one off the end of the bat or get jammed and maybe hurt your pitching hand. You'd be a little more careful. But with RBIs or the game on the line, pitchers can really bear down. You see Tanaka really bearing down on this at bat much more than he did in Milwaukee.
Fly ball right field. Granderson will make the play on the run for the final out of the inning. But the Yankees get a run on 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Yanks. 6 with outing batting practice today in the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then we're back with the call on Yes. That's a classic road Mickey Mantle uniform. I like it.
Big number 7 on the back.
On the Snyders of Hanover scoreboard, it's 1-0 Yankees on the misplay in left field by Eric Young Jr. That's going to bring up Chris Young here in the bottom of the second. The Yankees shift for him, 3 infielders on the left side.
Chris Young's found the Citi Field confines a little tough to hit in. He's been much better on the road. At home, just hitting 183 so far this year.
High pop-up. Let's see if anybody, because of the shift, can get there. And a nice play by Roberts. Roberts had to come all the way over from the shortstop side of second base.
Boy, a long way, and Rafael's, you see Alfonso Soriano, boy, just peeling off at the last minute. Looked like that was headed for danger. A good adjustment from Soriano.
Here's Lucas Duda. And a strike. 3 infielders on the right side for Duda. Now, Joe Girardi said that he has asked every pitcher, do you want us to shift or not? And pretty much all of them, except for Kuroda, said we're okay with it. Tanaka obviously okayed it as well, as the Yankees are shifting quite a bit. So if Joe came to you and you were a pitcher on this team, David, what do you want? You want us to shift or not?
Well, I'd want to get a closer look at all the data. I'd really inform myself on what all this is based on and each individual hitter. And I also would want the option to switch in midstream during the game if you saw hitters making adjustments and trying to hit the ball the other way, which Joe Girardi has said they will do. I mean, this isn't etched in stone. If a hitter like Duda starts looking like he's going to shoot the ball the other way the next time up, then they'll adjust the shift as well. The shift was made for hitters like Lucas Duda, a big power hitter that tries to pull the ball.
Swing and a miss. Duda down on strikes. First strikeout for Tanaka. Well, the most strikeouts in the first 7 games of a career since 1900. And Tanaka coming into this game with 58. And only 4 pitchers have had more. Herb Score, Kerry Wood, Jose De Leon, and Steven Strasburg.
Very good company. And then when you factor in the low walk rate of Tanaka, it makes it even that much more impressive.
Here's Anthony Recker. One and 0. Count 1-1.
No hesitation from Tanaka. Ready to throw the next pitch, waiting on the batter. right back to the rubber. No walking around. Very comfortable on the mound. Seems like that's his office. No nervous movements, just right to the rubber. Right after he throws the pitch, gets right back on the rubber, ready, always waiting on the hitter. Complete attack mode.
Two balls, two strikes, two outs here in the bottom of the second. Yankees up 1-0 on the Roberts triple. That scored Jan Hervis Solarte. That was in the top of this inning. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Tanaka, and the Mets go down in order 1-2-3. We're going to the third at Citi Field. Yankees lead 1-0. In an interleague matchup, the first 18,000 guests 14 and younger will receive a Yankees drawstring backpack courtesy of Kumon. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. All right, we go to the third inning. Yankees with a run. The Mets have not scored against Tanaka. Top of the order for the Yankees, Brett Gardner. He singled to open the game. And a strike from Montero. Count 1-1. Top of the order, Gardner, Jeter, and Ellsbury. Gardner's 15 for his last 39. He's up to 295. Bat goes one way, ball the other.
Got it back. Little tailing action as it kind of fooled Gardner as he went to get that pitch and had to reach a little further, and then there goes the bat.
The Met bat boy didn't move to retrieve that bat. That was kind of odd. I can understand a Met not getting it, but the bat boy just sat there by the on-deck circle and did not retrieve the bat. Kelleher had a run from the first base coaching box to go get the bat. Gardner was retrieving it as well.
Yeah, he's only paid to get the Mets bats.
I guess. And he just got hit with that ball. That was Gardner saying, "You want to get my bat?" Fouled away. Driven to right field. Granderson back. He's got room. Plenty of room. One out. That's going to bring up Derek Jeter. Derek grounded back to the pitcher. They forced out Gardner in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Hitting .260, a home run, and 7 runs batted in.
We talked a lot about the American League East this year, and it seems like all the teams in the American League East are kind of going to bang heads all year long, Michael. It's going to be a tough year. Nobody looks like they're poised to run away with it. Detroit beat Baltimore in a day game today, 7-5. And Baltimore looked like, they may have the best offense, but they've got their pitching issues as well. It's going to be interesting to see.
Well, yesterday they blew a game in the 9th inning. Tommy Hunter gave it up, and Buck Showalter was asked about possibly changing the closer, and he said, "We'll evaluate it and see what's best for the team," but he did not commit to losing Hunter as the closer. There's a strike, 2-2. Well, this is as tight as it is in the AL East. Baltimore's on top by 1 over the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays in Tampa Bay, who's really been struggling. It's just 3.5 off the pace. No one running away. And Tampa won in Seattle today as Jeter shoots one the other way foul.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's really catching a break early in the season here with all the injuries to their pitching staff. That they're not further back than they are. Got a good outing from Jake Odorizzi today. 6 innings, a 1-hit ball. Another part of that big James Shields trade that's kind of under the radar. Everybody's talking about Will Myers in Tampa Bay. Well, Jake Odorizzi came over in that deal too, and is now in the rotation for the Rays.
The 2-2. Foul back.
And if he can be a decent starter for the Rays, boy, that really tilts that trade in the favor of the Rays with Will Myers and a young starter to go for James Shields.
And James Shields will be a free agent at the end of this year. In all likelihood, Kansas City will not be able to afford to keep him, and that would really be a lopsided trade. The 2-2. Now, Kansas City's so desperate to make the postseason. If they make a postseason with him and lose him, I think they'd still think it was worth it.
Yes, they really need to win back their fan base. Kansas City's a good baseball town, and they will come out. Great ballpark, beautiful ballpark. They just need some hope.
Right in on the hands of Jeter. Fouls it back.
It's a good pitch. Jeter's always been one to kind of lean out over the plate. Classic Jeter, leading with his hands. Gets tied up and fouls that pitch back.
He's worked the count full.
It's one of the big tests for a young pitcher, Montero in this case. How you finish guys off. He's got good control, nice fastball. We've seen some good changeups. A little trouble putting guys away, though, when he gets ahead.
Swing and a miss. Jeter down on strikes. 94 low in the zone.
Gets a little help here from Derek as this ball's down and out of the strike zone. Good action on that pitch, though. And Derek knows it right away. Helped him out.
So 2 down, and here's Ellsbury. And a strike. Ellsbury popped to short in the first inning. And they will save the ball from strikeout number 1 in Montero's career. One and one.
I don't have any of that stuff, Michael. We didn't save anything back in the 80s and 90s.
No first, right? But you do have stuff from the perfect game.
I do. In storage somewhere. I know I've told you this story before, Michael, but you know, when I played for the Mets in my rookie year, I lived in Queens in an apartment building, and at the end of the year I left my baseball bag in the closet when I moved out. My rookie jersey was in that bag, all my equipment. I actually met the guy who moved in after me into that apartment, and I bought the uniform back from the guy.
Did you really?
I did. My Mets rookie jersey. Years later, it ended up on the market somewhere, and the guy still had it, and he was shopping it out, and got a message to me and see if I wanted it back, and I said, yeah, but it cost me. Yeah, I got it back.
Look at it like paying security when you leave. 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch. And Ellsbury works a 2-out walk. Before the game, David Cohn was with some old friends. And Darryl Strawberry on the field before the game.
Strawman.
You both modeled Yankee and Met uniforms. Well, he's big, huh?
He is. I mean, a handshake from Darryl Strawberry is an experience. The strongest hands and forearms. You know, that buggy whip swing that he had. Incredible strength in those arms, especially hands and forearms and wrists. Just some of the best and quickest wrists you will ever see swing a baseball bat.
Teixeira swings and misses. Well, he had 8 years with the Mets, 252 home runs, 5 years with the Yankees, and he didn't play all the time. 41 home runs, and he's got 4 World Series rings, 1 with the Mets and 3 with the Yankees.
I argue with him all the time about the 86 Mets versus the 98 Yankees. And he says the 86 Mets would beat the 98 Yankees. And I said, yeah, but the 98 Yankees you couldn't even start on. You were on the bench. You were a reserve player. What are you talking about?
It's a good debate. He's spirited with that one, too. A couple of other ex-Mets are in the crowd. I saw John Franco and Doc Gooden. I think they're sitting together somewhere. So it's homecoming day. Runner goes. The 0-2 is low. The throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Ellsbury.
Good spot. Good jump. Little peek back from Ellsbury. easily in there.
And you see what the Mets had to do with the shift on. It's amazing what this entails. Wright covered the bag, and Tejada had to fly and run to third, so Ellsbury couldn't pop up and run to an uncovered third. Look at this. Look at this effort that you have to put into this. The 1-2. Low. At least that was discussed, and they knew that they had to do that.
Almost looks like a touch football game. All these guys are running patterns. Down and out. You go down and out. Run the button hook.
Who can forget in the 2009 World Series, Johnny Damon stealing 2 bases in one play because no one was covering third. Now Recker wants to talk with Montero. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Well, Tejada joined Recker on the mound to do some translating. So he's covering third, playing on the right side of the infield, and translating. Busy day. Two.
See McCann on deck, and just another deep count from Teixeira. He's done this his whole career, but in particular this year, always seems like he finds himself in 3-2 counts.
This will be the 5th full count from Montero tonight. Foul back, so 68 pitches, and we're just in the 3rd inning.
This is about the time if I'm on the bench with the Yankees right here, I'm yelling at these guys, get a walkie-talkie. I mean, that's enough. Just had a visit, now you're going to have another visit. Bench jockeying is kind of a lost art in today's game. You can see Jeter's a little perturbed, but just you're kind of kidding, but you look for things on the bench like that. Try to test a young pitcher. The 86 Mets were some of the best bench jockeyers I've ever been around.
3-2. High pop-up. Tejada will make the play. Yankees, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. When we come back, Meredith Marakovich will have an update on CC Sabathia's condition. We're joined now by our very own Meredith Morakovitz. And Meredith, obviously a lot of people are concerned, especially with the shortage of pitching on the Yankee staff right now. What's the deal with CC Sabathia? What's the latest?
Well, Michael, as we know, he was placed on the DL on Sunday with fluid on his right knee, and he went to see Dr. James Andrews for a second opinion. And while Andrews agreed that there was no structural damage, no tear in the meniscus, he did see some degenerative changes in the knee. So he'll have an injection of cortisone and stem cells, pretty much protocol when you see a degenerative change. And GM Brian Cashman said, was asked a lot of questions about this. Exactly what does that mean? And he said that just means that there's cartilage breakdown there. And there are some current Yankees that have had this procedure and some former Yankees that have had this procedure. Brian Cashman saying that Carlos Beltran had gone through this and had success with it. Hideki Matsui, Randy Johnson, Andrew Jones, and Raul Ibanez have all had this done.
Tejada flies out in the center. Okay, so the follow-up question is this. When he was put on the DL, they assumed, okay, they'll drain the knee, he'll be back in 2 weeks. Does this extend that time?
It's a wait and see right now, Michael. They did drain the knee already, and tomorrow he'll have that shot in Birmingham, Alabama, and just kind of see how the knee responds. He could have the shot and feel good in 2-3 days and start throwing again. Right now, CC Sabathia hasn't been doing any throwing or anything, so really it just depends on how his body reacts.
While we have you here, how about Carlos Beltran?
Carlos Beltran pretty much the same from before the cortisone shot to after the cortisone shot, so no dramatic improvement there. Joe Girardi saying earlier today, I have to give it about 2-3 days until you really know if that takes hold. But in the event that it doesn't, it looks like he could potentially land on the DL. General Manager Brian Cashman not ruling that out earlier today, but still too soon to tell. They want to give it at least another day.
Well, thank you, Meredith. We'll hear from you later, as Montero does not look good as a hitter and swings and misses. David, a lot of people have asked me this on Twitter, so let me ask you. The problem with CC's knee, could that have contributed to the loss in velocity, or is that simply all the innings?
Probably both. Yeah, it could. Absolutely. I mean, CC was always a guy who had a really dynamic delivery, a power delivery, and really drove off of his lower half. And he's got a big frame, too, so there's more wear and tear. You know, even though he's lighter than he used to be around 300 pounds. You know, he's probably down to 270 now, but still, the landing, the wear and tear takes a big toll on pitchers. And I can tell you at this point, I haven't pitched in 10 or 11 years. The things that my hip and my knees bother me now more than my arm.
Here's Eric Young Jr. He grounded out to first in the first. And also the Beltran thing is a little bit of a concern, because he was quoted as saying that if it doesn't feel better in 2 or 3 days, then they might have to go in and clean up the spur. And if they do that, that's 4 or 6 weeks. So I'm sure the Yankees are crossing their fingers tightly that he's going to be okay and feel a lot more relief in 2 or 3 days. Young tries to bunt and bunts it foul behind the plate.
It makes you wonder about Beltran, because he looked like the best hitter in the American League early in this year, and then all of a sudden he hit the wall in Tampa Bay on that freak kind of, didn't really get injured on it, but it looked worse than it probably was. But since that point, little aches and pains creeping up, and his production went down.
Chop toward first. Teixeira's right there. He's going to step on the bag, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Tanaka, who has retired 8 Mets in a row. We're going to the 4th. Yankees lead the Mets 1-0. event is going on now. Toyota Let's Go Places. Rafael Montero is the first Mets starter to make his Major League debut in the Subway Series. Now, who are the two Yankee starters to do that? We'll find that out. That's odd dirt around that base. Now, I'll give you a little clue. One of those pitchers got a win today for another team. That's all we'll say. Brian McCann against Montero. 1-0 Yankees. We're in the fourth. That one is driven to right field and deep. Granderson back. There's so much room. That's a Yankee Stadium home run, but a Citi Field out. As we move along here in the fourth inning, we'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by JetBlue, you above all. There's a strike. Driven the other way. And a foul ball.
Well, even though the Yankees only have 2 hits right now, they pushed Montero's pitch count up. Number 74 coming here in the top of the fourth with 1 down.
Chop towards short to Hada. 2 outs. Here's Solarte, who walked in the second inning. In the minor leagues, Solarte walked 6.6% of the time. In the majors this year, 12.4%. So he's profiling a little bit different up here. Maybe he's just growing as a hitter. Now, for you Yankee fans that might be a bit older, there's another guy that came up and had an unbelievable start to his Yankee career, and it was Oscar Zokar. And he was a guy that would swing at anything over his head, and that's what you thought you were getting in Solarte. But Solarte does work the count, and he has walked. So now Oscar had a free fall after that great start. Maybe Solarte won't.
Well, he's shown an ability to make adjustments as the league has adjusted to him early in the year. He had a lot of fastballs early, and then pitchers adjusted, started to throw him a lot of off-speed stuff, and for a few games there, he did kind of have a dry spell and chase some pitches, and he adjusted back. And he's taking a lot of those off-speed pitches down and out of the zone.
A 3-0 strike. That one is drilled to right field. Is it high enough? Yes, it is. See ya. A home run for Solarte. And it's 2-0 Yankees.
You see how the Yankee bench reacts to Solarte. He has infused some energy into this team, and wow, almost Reggie-like, going down on his back leg. Solarte has shown that he's a good high ball hitter, fastball hitter, batting left-handed.
David, it's a Disney story. 8 years in the minor leagues and then stuff like this and leading the American League in hitting and never a sniff with Major League Baseball and going into spring training and having to win a job, and he did just that. And now getting big hits in the Subway Series. You write this, it gets tossed in the trash. Well, that's not believable.
Might be some kids in the New York area going to name their first barn Yang Hervis. Might become a popular name. But that is some bat speed. You know, the confidence is growing, and he's really turning it loose. I mean, that wasn't a swing of a guy just trying to put it in play. That was a 3-1, looking for a fastball, got it, and did damage.
Count 2-1 on Brian Roberts, who tripled in Solarte in the second. There's a line drive base hit down the right field line. That's going to go into the corner. Roberts hustles to second. He's thinking about 3, and he's going to go for 3. And he's going to make 3. A triple. Second one of the game for Brian Roberts.
Well, how often do you see that? 2 for 2 and 2 triples. And Montero, another high fastball, just above the belt. Yankees getting in good hitters counts, predictable fastballs, and turning on them. And right now he knows there's the read. Okay, I'm going. And easily makes it into third.
A little conference on the mound with Montero trying to settle down the youngster. .83 pitches in all. High pitch inning was the 30 in the third. So Roberts on third now, and that's going to bring up Tanaka. With a fly ball to right in the second inning, also with Roberts on third. Outfield is really shallow for Tanaka.
Two quick outs this inning for Montero, and then boom, boom.
Ground ball to second. Murphy gets Tanaka, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get another run, so they double their lead. And Hervis Solarte goes down to one knee and drives it into the right field seats. His 4th home run of the year and a 2-0 Yankee lead. Question. Let's take a look at the question again. Montero, the first Mets starter to make his major league debut in the Subway Series. Who were the 2 Yankee starters to do it? Any idea? Here we go. Let's see. Brandon Clausen in 2003 and Tyler Clippard in 2007. Both at Shea. Both had 6 strong innings. Both had wins. Clausen in 2003 and Clippard in 2007. And Clippard of the Nationals beat the Diamondbacks today, so that was the hint.
Clippard's carved out a nice career in the bullpen. Kind of one of those young Yankee arms that got away.
Two 2-0 lead. Tanaka deals out of the zone to Daniel Murphy. Murphy, Wright, and Granderson. Now, we were talking the Citi Field effect earlier in the game. Look how great the Mets were hitting at Yankee Stadium. And some of them are spooked by Citi Field. Now, Murphy's not one of those guys because he's a line drive hitter. He's not going to hit a lot of home runs, so I don't think this park plays against him. Probably plays for him. A lot of room in the gaps. That one is drilled to right. Soriano, a late jump. He goes back and he makes the play. Looked like he had no chance, but covered a lot of ground, stuck his arm out, and the ball plunked right into the glove.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. It looked like no way he's going to get there. But a nice recovery as Soriano kind of froze, didn't get a great jump, but still is very athletic.
Well, here's David Wright. So we looked this up. He's a .286 lifetime hitter at Citi Field. .306 not in Citi Field. That's 20 points. Now, this year it's been about even for Wright. But some of the other hitters in the Met lineup, Eric Young on the road is .309 at Citi Field, 183. Chris Young, 294 on the road, 184 at Citi Field. Granderson, 279 on the road, 141 at Citi Field. Duda, 333 on the road, 196 at Citi Field.
Clearly noteworthy. Something to pay attention to as those sample sizes grow in this particular year. But David Wright can hit anywhere. But when you see in his career 20 points, that is
a lot.
Significant.
Ground ball to second. Roberts gets right. And if you want to go a little deeper, David, slugging percentage. At Citi Field for his career, David Wright is .460, .517 on the road. That's significant. Now, you would think that it would affect your home run totals and your slugging percentage, but it's also affecting their average, David. So does that mean it's getting into their head?
I could definitely see that. We've heard David Wright talk about it, and they did force a change. They changed the dimensions here and brought in the fences. So no doubt there's a psychological edge going on to what the hitters think and how they feel about hitting in this ballpark.
The 0-1.
On the flip side of that, when you're on the mound as a pitcher, it affects you as well. You feel like, I could throw more fastballs. I can challenge more guys. Try to play maybe to the big part of the park and get some fly ball outs, especially if you're behind in the count where you normally might try to trick them and pitch backwards.
Count 2-2 to Granderson.
The thing about Tanaka is he just continues to quietly go about his business on the mound, very professional. He just kind of picks you apart, sets you up, and then all of a sudden another swing and miss.
Driven out to left center. but Gardner is there, and he'll make the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. Tanaka has retired 11 in a row. We're going to the 5th. Right, we're all about food, we're all about savings, we're all about you. May 14th, 1996, Dwight Gooden throws the 8th no-hitter in Yankees franchise history, defeating the Mariners 2-0 at Yankee Stadium. What a memorable night that was.
I was listening on the radio to you call this game, Michael, you and John Sterling. I was in a hospital bed at Columbia Presbyterian, recovering from an aneurysm surgery, and Dwight Gooden took my spot in the rotation and promptly threw a no-hitter. And he was a big part of that 96 team to keep us afloat, and Andy Pettit had a great year, and you know the rest of the story.
So much drama with that, with you with your medical issue with the aneurysm, and Doc's dad was in bad health too, and I think he flew down right after the game and gave his dad the baseball. Very emotional night at the stadium.
It really was. I couldn't get the game on TV, so I listened to it on the radio, and that was emotional for me because I wasn't there. Doc was a good friend, former teammate from the Mets. What an incredible night that was for him.
And that was a tough call also for Torrey, if you remember, because the pitch count was way up and there were people on base. He walked some people, and it was a game that was a close game, so it was more important to win the game than get him the no-hitter, but both happened.
Yeah, he ended up throwing 130-plus pitches to get that no-hitter.
Yankees lead 2-0 on the scoreboard, brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. Visit us at your tristatebmw.com. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. We're at Citi Field, along with David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on My 9. Yankees lead 2-0. And Gardner pops it up behind the plate and out of play.
Montero's kind of been as advertised. Good control, good delivery, nice fastball, good movement. Fastball changeup, throwing some decent sliders. But the reason his pitch count is so high is this right here. You see his inability to have a real tight finish pitch, something nasty to go to get a swing and a miss. And we've seen several Yankee hitters foul off a lot of pitches with 2 strikes. And a little bit of uncertainty on the mound of where to go. What pitch do I go to when I do have 2 strikes? How do I finish off major league hitters? tough lesson for a young pitcher to learn.
High fly ball down the right field line. But way foul.
It's not going to be much longer for this game in the 5th inning, with the 93rd pitch coming.
Line drive, foul.
That's probably his 3rd best pitch there. That's kind of a prime example. Gardner's all over that. That was a slider that kind of rolled in there, and that's kind of the pitch you need to finish. You see here, we're going to try the slider here. He hadn't thrown a lot of them, but just kind of sitting there and rolling. Not a real good finish pitch to try to get somebody to swing over the top of it or beat it in the ground. Gardner all over it.
Swing and a miss. Gardner strikes out. The world is changing, and so is your news. Every weeknight, the chase is on across the state for the biggest headlines and most unique stories on Chasing New Jersey. No teleprompters, no anchor desk, just real people chasing real stories. Chasing New Jersey, weeknights at 10 p.m. and tonight after the game on My 9. There's Derek Jeter. He is 0 for 2. Outside. Grounded, left side. Grabbed there by right. And he gets Jeter for the second out.
Well, David Wright is the complete package. Face of the franchise, has always been a really good defender, along with an RBI producing machine too for the Mets. And he's lived up to his end of the bargain here in Queens.
Here's Ellsbury. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. Fly ball left field. Eric Young Jr. goes back. And Montero works a 1-2-3 5th inning. At the end of 4.5, we are halfway through. Yankees lead by 2. Brought to you by the Jeep Spring into Summer event going on now. Which of these players on the DL could the Yankees use most right now? Is it A, Francisco Cervelli, B, Ivan Nova, C, Michael Pineda, D, CC Sabathia? Text A, B, C, or D to 70377 or go to my9nj.com. Find out the results later in the game wrap-up. It's What's Your Take, brought to you by the Jeep Spring into Summer event going on now. I'd say B, C, and D.
Yeah, it's 3 starting pitchers this early in the season on the shelf.
And 1 for the remainder of the year. That's for sure, Ivan Nova. Count 0-1 on Chris Young. BMW scoreboard 2-0 Yankees.
Tanaka very efficient so far. Workmanlike. Just 1 hit, no walks. 48 pitch coming.
Grounded through the shift. 3 infielders on the left side, but not enough as he hits it between third and short. A base hit for Young.
Well, Tanaka gets this one up, trying to go down with the splitter. You see the corkscrew spin, almost like a gyro ball. That's what Daisuke Matsusaka was famous for when he came over, and that's just really kind of a hanging splitter right there.
Runner goes, and Tanaka turns and fires the second, and they get the out. So they tried the same move they tried with Murphy, but this time the Yankees were alert to it.
Head scratching. Thank you very much if you're the Yankees and Tanaka. Nobody out. You just led off with a single. Thanks for the gift. And Solarte with a nice pick and play on that.
And a strike to Duda.
Step off, step off. And Solarte looked like he would have tackled him to make that play if he had to.
Count 0-2.
Very animated. A nice gift, and he's very thankful to Solarte for making that play on his throw in the dirt as well.
Lined into center field. Right there is Ellsbury for the second out. Ellsbury gets great jumps and makes plays look easier than they really are.
Both ways. He's covered so much ground out there. We've seen him make diving plays in left center and right center. But you can see no hesitation, even though he didn't have to go very far for that. He gets excellent reads right off the bat, which is a very hard thing to teach. It's almost innate for outfielders. What Gene Michael used to call high concentration players. You really got to be into every pitch and anticipate to be a good defender.
Rucker swings and misses.
A lot of dead time in baseball. It's easy to lose your concentration out there in the outfield.
The 0-1.
Carlos Torres warming up for the Mets.
Montero has 97 pitches right now. The 1-1.
You can see Tanaka very much of a perfectionist on the mound. When he throws a pitch he doesn't like, very demonstrative, unhappy, regroups right back on the mound.
The 2-1. 2-2.
Well, it takes a little bit off of this slider. Sometimes it's hard to tell with Tanaka because his splitter's so good, but this is the part that's been so impressive, that he can take a little bit off, add a little bit. Really has an advanced degree in pitching and the art of finesse. He's got it.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Strike 3. Rucker down swinging. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go to the 6th. It's 2-0 Yankees. Words could end up on the big screen in Times Square. Follow us on Twitter at My9NJ or like us on Facebook at My9TV, and you can see your post and lights at the crossroads of the world. All right, we go to the 6th inning. Mark Teixeira will lead off against Rafael Montero. As we move along this inning, you'll also take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. High fly ball, deep right. Granderson back, track, wall, see ya! Another home run for Teixeira. He is locked in, and the Yankees lead 3-0. 7 home runs now in his last 15 games.
Well, Teixeira always looks to get extended out over the plate. That ball's almost off the plate. And that's how Teixeira usually does it. He can go out and yank it out. Pull an outside pitch. Tremendous plate coverage. Takes a lot of power to be able to jerk a ball almost off the outside corner out of here and deep. Lean back off his back leg. Not really talking about that wrist anymore now, are we?
David, he's one of the keys to this lineup. Lengthens it, switch hitter, makes a manager think about bringing in another pitcher because he can go to the other side. And, you know, when you talk to people around baseball, they say Teixeira's key. If he could come back and beat Teixeira, that would be something else. And as I mentioned, when he hit the home run, 7 home runs in his last 15 games, 8 overall. And usually a slow starter, not this year. And you take those numbers, 8 home runs and 18 ribbies, and he was on the DL for 15 days. It's pretty good.
It's way above and beyond what the Yankees could have possibly hoped for early in the season.
Swing and a miss. McCann down on strikes.
You know, everything in the offseason with regard to Teixeira and his statements were kind of downplaying everything. Hey, I know I'm getting older. You know, I may not have the same production. He really kind of was laying in the weeds. And now all of a sudden, boy, it looks like he's right back to 5 years ago. You know, he's on pace. He might be on a career production type pace, or certainly in his peak years.
Fly ball, right center. Chris Young makes the play. Well, if he could return to 30 and 100, what a boom for the Yankees. Because I don't know if they could have penciled anything in the offseason. Is this what we could get from him? He was a total unknown. I think even to him, he was a total unknown.
Yeah, it's gone much better than I think he even thought it would.
And he's got to be happy about it. 3-0 Yankees. Here's Solarte. And a strike. So hanging with Montero here. 107 pitches. He's due up second in the bottom of the inning. Fly ball, shallow right. Coming on is Granderson. He'll make the play for the final out. But a home run by Teixeira gives the Yankees a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th. New York Yankees baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by your local Lexus dealer. By McDonald's. This summer at McDonald's, come in for the $2.99 Happy Meal. The offer's only at participating McDonald's. And by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Well, you look at Citi Field from there, and you know that Fred Wilpon's favorite team growing up, the Brooklyn Dodgers, and that looks just like Ebbets Field, and it was modeled after Ebbets Field. We go to the 6th inning, 3-0 Yankees, and Tanaka has given up just 2 hits.
A little better visual than Shea Stadium presented over those years.
Ruben Tejada takes up and in, 1-0. Juan Lagares is on deck to pinch hit for Montero. Just 57 pitches for the Yankee rookie. The 1-0. 2-0.
Remember the paint on Shea Stadium? We used to call it, the Mets, when we come home from a road trip, we'd call it purple because it wasn't quite purple, but visually it was just kind of weird looking. City Field gorgeous. That shot we just had in the Rotunda. That's right, I said purple.
Count 3-0. And Tanaka rocks and deals. That's right. Fly ball right field. Soriano drifts back, runs to a spot, makes the play. 1 away. So Lagares is going to pinch hit for Montero. Montero, when he was in there, struck out. And that gives the Mets pitchers, check this out, David, 0 for 64 since the start of the season. That's the second longest streak to start a season in Major League history since 1900. It ties the 1946 Indians, also 0 for 64. But the Mets have a ways to go. The longest streak ever, you have to go back to 1914. The Cleveland Naps went 0 for 92. And we thank the Elias Sports Bureau for that, Jim.
Yeah, that's embarrassing as a pitching staff. And when you play in the National League, it's important because it's you against the other pitcher. And that's not only hits and on-base percentage, but getting bunts down, doing little things to try to at least make a productive out when you're a pitcher in the National League.
And the Mets streak is actually the longest to start a season. So when the Indians did it, that was in the middle of a season, and the Nats in the middle of a season. So the Mets 0 for 64 to start 2014. One and two.
Starting pitcher in the National League will get about 75 or 80 at-bats in the year.
Grounded to third. Solarte gets Lagares. That's a nice play by Solarte. Not easy at all. He ended up almost equal with home plate. His momentum carrying him there.
Yes, he did. You got to come and get it and throw it on the run. And Teixeira likes it. Tanaka likes it even more. Boy, what a long stride from Tanaka. Thank you very much. A little clap.
So here's Eric Young Jr. Solarte now in on the grass at third. Teixeira about even with the bag at first. He's grounded out to Teixeira twice. 0 for 2.
I talk about Tanaka's stride here, and it is long. As you see, there's the leg kick, and the lead leg really extends out. You can see how much further he is, landing right in this area than Montero, whose hole was maybe 6 inches shorter in his landing area than where Tanaka lands. And you see Montero, more of a pick it up and put it down guy. Not a lot of extension in that front leg, and you see a much shorter stride than Tanaka. That's a delivery and a stride that's built more for control than power. Tanaka really pushes off his back leg and gets out there. And one of the reasons that makes a difference is there is a direct correlation between stride length and power. And you look at how far he's getting out there. I mean, he's almost running out of mound down here. Almost Seaver-like with his back leg.
Drop and drive, they call it, right?
The reason that makes a difference is you can throw the ball harder that way. You're using your lower half more. You're releasing the ball closer to home plate, shortening the distance, giving the hitter less time to react.
The longest measured stride of any pitcher in the last couple of years has been David Robertson. And they say that's why his 91, 92 mile an hour fastball plays faster, because he's closer to the hitter when it's released.
No doubt about it. And that's why Tanaka gets so many swings and misses on that great splitter, because he's able to retain a lot of velocity on that splitter. Throw it very hard. He's, you know, we mentioned in the scouting report that he averages about 87 miles an hour on a splitter. We've seen him touch 90 miles an hour with his splitter at times. Looks just like a fastball. He's releasing it closer to home plate. Long stride. Very hard for hitters to lay off of it. Just don't have enough time to recognize.
That one is driven into right center field. That is going to be trouble. On the run is Ellsbury. He can't get there. Cuts it off before it gets to the wall. He gets it in quickly, and that holds Eric Young to a double. That's some play by Ellsbury to stop that ball from getting to the wall, because if it does, it's a triple.
Indeed, and had a long way to go because he was shading Young the other way. Almost thought for a minute he's going to get there. That was an impossible play, and right about here I'm thinking, oh, he might make that play, but he doesn't. But Michael's right, cutting it off and holding Young to a double, even though there's 2 outs here.
Well, the third hit for the Mets. The other 2 singles, one by Murphy and one by Young. Here's Murphy right now. He's 1 for 2. 71 pitches for Tanaka. 2 outs here in the 6th. Count 0-1.
These are the situations where Tanaka seems to get tougher. The pitches just seem to get a little more crisper. A little more bite on the splitter. Good looking slider there to get ahead.
Having a little conversation with himself there. One and one.
See, this is a really good splitter. This is the one that he can throw almost for a strike and just misses down with it. But that was a little quicker than some of the other splitters we've seen so far, as he clearly is going to bear down on a really good hitter in Murphy in an RBI situation.
Grounded to first. Teixeira's right there. He'll take it himself. And Tanaka works out of a mini jam. No runs hit. No errors. 1 man left. We're going to the 7th. Favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, score, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Yankees.com today. All right, new Met pitcher is Carlos Torres. I mean, Montero didn't look like a young Dwight Gooden, but he certainly didn't embarrass himself, David.
Not at all. He's ready for this challenge. He's got good command, good fastball. The secondary pitches need a little bit of work. He only got 5 swings and misses all night long, compared to Tanaka, who's in double digits on swing and misses.
Brian Roberts will lead it off. He has 2 triples in the game. Right back at Torres. Hits the glove, and he picks it up, and he will gun down Roberts for the first out. Boy, Roberts hit that ball hard, and now the trainer, Ray Ramirez, is going to come out and take a look at Carlos Torres.
Well, Torres caught a break because this doesn't get the pitching arm. They got the left one. And it could have been worse, as he just does get his right arm out of the way and immediately looks down at his glove arm.
You think that got him on the wrist above the glove, Dave? Because you almost heard a smack from up here.
Yeah, it looked to be a little higher up on the arm.
And right away, he'll take a look.
It was a direct hit, as you see. Anytime you hit a line drive that hard and it hits you and goes straight down and doesn't ricochet, that means that you got it all.
So he's going to stay in the game. Scary, no reaction time. And he was in pretty good fielding position.
He was just lucky he got his pitching arm out of the way. And Brian Roberts continues to hit line drive after line drive.
Here's Tanaka. Inside 1-0. As we move along, you'll see the Yankees are leading the Mets 3-0. That's on the scoreboard, brought to you by your Tri-State Kia retailers. To learn more, visit TriStateKiaDealers.com. Two and one to Tanaka. He is flied out to right and grounded to second. There's a strike.
That's the one I always worried about. As you see Tanaka with a little grimace. Kind of got jammed on that pitch. And kind of send a burner through your hand, especially your pitching hand.
Swing and a miss. Tanaka now 0 for 6 as a hitter. 0 for 3 in Milwaukee, 0 for 3 tonight. But doesn't look lost out there. Doesn't look overpowered. It's just hasn't hit in a long time. Jeter finds humor in those things.
You know, Jeter has a great sense of humor. Keeps it to himself quietly. But over the years, probably not enough credit for some of his clubhouse pranks and the way he carries himself, his dry wit. I miss Al. You know, we had Al Leiter for the first 2 games over at Yankee Stadium.
A lot more room, though, David.
We got more room up here.
Also, from those 2 games, I have bruises on my left arm. You have it on the right.
Yes.
He's a hitter when he talks.
He's a hitter. He's a touchy-feely guy, yes.
In your space, in your face. Sounds like a broken bat. Ground ball to second. Not in time. Gardner beat it out. He's 2 for 4, an infield single.
I think it was Whitey Herzog, the longtime Cardinals manager, that said speed never goes in a slump. And that's close. It'll be interesting to see if the Mets take a shot on that one. The Mets are scrambling in the dugout to get another look. Looked like a tie almost. Be hard to overturn that one. Yeah, good call. Base hit with the legs. Trade a broken bat for that any day of the week.
Here's Derek. Tonight, Jeter is 0 for 3. Grounded back to the mound, struck out, and grounded to third.
With 2 outs here, he'd really love to see Gardner take a chance early in the count and steal. I know that's not his MO. It takes him a while to kind of pick his spots. Got a chance to steal a run here. If Gardner can get to second and give Jeter a shot to drive him in. Very popular count to run on 0-2. You see a lot of guys anticipating maybe a slider in the dirt. Jacoby Ellsbury got an 0-2 stolen base in this game earlier. And another thing is if you get thrown out, you save Derek Jeter the 0-2 count. He would start with a fresh count leading off the next inning. That's my strategy, Michael. I keep talking about it. One of these times he's going to go, and I'm going to be right.
The Yankees would like him to run earlier in the count. He just doesn't feel comfortable. It's a good read on the pitcher. That's the difference in styles between Gardner and Ellsbury. Ellsbury takes off. One and two. Now, the other school of thought is that Derek shoots the ball that way, and he's got a bigger hole on the right side if the first baseman's holding him on. There he goes. Pitch is low. Throw to second. Stolen base for Gardner. Took him 5 pitches, but he does take off and gets the bag.
And a pretty good jump. Got a good pitch to run on, too.
Torres taking too much time now, wants to talk with Recker. We're in the 7th. The Yankees lead 3-0. Jose Valverde is up in the pen. The Yankees will know him from his years with the Tigers. No one in the Yankee bullpen warming, and why should they? That man has pitched very well.
Game face mode.
Two in the dirt, and Gardner goes to third. That'll be a wild pitch.
The thing when you get sliders in the dirt, you see the ricochet off the chest protector. The spin of the slider causes that. And Gardner, no hesitation, easily going to be in there. Very hard pitch for catchers to block is those spinning sliders, because they will shoot in the opposite direction on you, even off the chest protector.
Dribbled slowly in front of the mound. And Jeter beats it out. Gardner scores 4-0 Yankees. Confusion between Recker and Torres, and that cost him the play.
Wow, that's just a thing of beauty if you're Derek Jeter. You hit the ball about 12 feet, you're going to get a knock at an RBI. And that is Recker's play all the way. He's got the better angle. And the pitcher, as usual, when there's a decision to be made, get out of the way. And when you don't, mistakes are made. He was just not paying attention, Torres, the pitcher.
Ellsbury fouls it away. So Jeter picks up his 8th RBI. And one of his shortest base hits to pick up an RBI. And the stolen base and the wild pitch paid off because that allowed Gardner to score on that. Oh, 2. Moving to second is Jeter, but it's a foul ball, so he'll have to go back.
Still remember Keith Hernandez, the great Met first baseman, now broadcaster, telling me anytime you can get out of the way of a play, let the infielders make the play. Catcher had a much better angle on that. Momentum moving towards first base. Take the pitcher out of the equation any chance you can. Now, Jim Cott would disagree with that.
He has 16 gold gloves to back him up. Very close. Jeter with a big lead.
Little flinch. Another 0-2 count and a good runner's count. Anticipating off speed in the dirt. See if Derek Jeter tries to take advantage.
Still 0-2. Nothing Yankees. Jeter leads off first. Breaking ball, strike 3. Ellsbury down looking. But with 2 infield singles, stolen base, and moving to third on a wild pitch, Yankees lead 4-0. Time for the 7th inning stretch.
Tanaka, and very much under control. Not a massive strikeout night, but a lot of swings and misses. The devastating splitter. 1, 2, 3. You can make a break right to left against right-handed batters. 4 splitters, 4 strikeouts, 14 swing and misses on the night. Very uneventful. 3 hits, 2 singles, and a double.
Now, our good friend Joel Sherman, the baseball columnist for the New York Post, had a story today where he thought that some teams, and you see the Kia scoreboard, 4-0 Yankees as we go to the bottom of the 7th, might start putting in more right-handed batters than lefties because he's so devastating against lefties with the splitter that moves away. But from what you're saying, David, this guy definitely adjusts. So if righties are hitting him, he's going to find a way to get him out.
Absolutely. He can make the splitter break either way. I was talking to Brian McCann today at the cage during batting practice, and he said when he gets it going against righties and that splitter that breaks down and away almost slider-like, he thinks it's unhittable against right-handed batters. Right-handed batters just don't see that pitch from very many guys. So generally speaking, a split-finger fastball pitcher, and I featured that pitch. I had a hard time with throwing it to right-handed batters. I would almost have to throw it down and in because the movement would want to go that way. Tanaka, a cut above. He can master it both ways.
And one of the things that we've seen watching the Yankees all these years, that for a while the formula to solving Mariano was to send right-handed batters because the cutter came in, but then he just developed this two-seamer that went in on, good pitchers are going to find ways to get people out. Wright is 0 for 2 against Tanaka. He's worked the count to 3-2. And he strikes out.
Well, this is kind of the answer. Right on cue as we're talking about it. That's how he gets righties out. He also has an excellent slider to go with that splitter.
Now, is it something that involves finger pressure? Because a splitter from a righty to a lefty goes down and away. How does he make it go the other way to right-handers?
Very disciplined wrist position and finger pressure.
Gardner or Granderson takes a strike.
Tremendous wrist action, too. Tanaka's got a really loose wrist, almost a wrapping action through the zone. You notice in the middle of his delivery is kind of real loose wrist. Excellent wrist snap. Look at that. That's very unorthodox. I actually had a little bit of that in my delivery, and you see the wrist snap in action through the zone.
Pitch is high.
Get a look at the grip. The difference between a split finger and a forkball is that right there. It's not an extreme split. It's kind of just a subtle split, which allows him to throw very hard.
Strike 3. Granderson down looking. And he talks with Mike DeMuro.
This is Tanaka's 4th best pitch. Just for fun, let's throw a slow curve up in there. Let's see if we can get the umpire to bite, and he does as McCann frames a pitch that breaks around the plate. So when you're a pitcher with good control like Tanaka, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt and get some calls like this that go your way. And Granderson's right. That probably was not a strike, but a byproduct of very good control and an excellent catcher framing that pitch.
Swing and a miss. Chris Young 0-1. Now 0-2. Good shape with the pitch count. 86 pitches, 2 outs into the 7th inning.
Tanaka now up to 6 strikeouts and 18 whiffs on the night. Swing and misses on his pitches and only 2 full counts here in the 7th with 2 outs.
The 0-2. And Tanaka deals. Just got a piece to stay alive. .88 pitches, and that's how it breaks down. He had that 7-pitch 3rd inning. That's always nice to keep the total down.
So Tanaka clearly knows how to manage a game. He knows how to keep a little bit in reserve for when he needs it. Knows when to go for the corners and when to just throw strikes and let your defense work for you.
Rounded foul.
A lot of things go into that, Michael. You know, you hear starting pitchers say, I don't really care who the other starting pitcher is. I just am facing a bad, a lineup. And that's so untrue. Tanaka seems to understand that. Who you're facing. If you give him an early lead like tonight, he just really knows how to manage a lead. Conversely, early in the game, we've seen him too kind of pitch the 2nd or 3rd inning like the 9th if it was a tight game against an opposing starting pitcher who's throwing the ball well.
The 1-2 inside, 93 miles an hour, so keeping his velocity. Obviously inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, 4-0 Yanks. And Young putting together a good at bat, staying alive. Mets have just 3 hits against the Yankee right-hander. Swing and a miss. And Tanaka strikes out the side. First, it was David Wright, swung on a miss. Then Granderson caught looking. And Chris Young, he swings and misses as we go to the 8th. Brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. 7 hits for the Yankees. A ribby for Derek Jeter on a slow roller in front of the plate. A home run by Teixeira. Solarte with a home run. And Brian Roberts with 2 triples and an RBI. Well, Terry Collins makes another call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE, America's largest 4G LTE network. And who comes on? It's Jose Valverde.
Papa Grande, a little mixed bag in 15 games. A lot of everything.
Bobby Abreu takes over in right field. Curtis Granderson moves to center. So that means that the pitcher is batting in Chris Young's spot. And a strike. Now you see the home plate umpire tonight. It's Mike DeMuro. And he comes from a line of umpires. His dad, Lou DeMuro, was an American League umpire from 63 to 82. But we bring him up because he's an important figure in Mets history. Grounded foul. In 1969, Game 5, Lou DeMuro, Mike's dad, was the home plate umpire. It was 3-0 Orioles in the 6th inning against the Mets, and he said that Cleon Jones was not hit by a Dave McNally pitch. Manager Gil Hodges showed him the ball with shoe polish on it. He took first base. Don Clendenon followed with a 2-run home run. The Mets came back to win 5-3 to clinch the World Series. So that's the connection there with Mike DeMuro behind the plate and his dad, an important figure in Mets history.
The old shoe polish ball, huh?
Yep. Showed him the shoe polish, and he said, okay, you're right. He takes first base.
Kind of a lost art. I think guys nowadays have multiple pair of shoes in their lockers. They almost wear a new pair every other day. Don't see much shoe polish anymore in Major League clubhouses.
Right. And that'll bring up Brian McCann.
Yeah, Michael, sometimes I'd go through the whole year with one or two pair of spikes, one hat. When the Mets traded me to Toronto, I showed up in a baseball bag. I had one glove, one hat, one pair of shoes. Nowadays, it seems like these guys, you know, they have a new hat every game almost. The first guy I saw do that was Roger Clemens. He had a hat box when he played for the Yankees, and he changed his hat every inning.
Why do you think he did that?
Memorabilia, saving it, anticipating potential market for it, I guess. Or...
And now with the spikes, there's really not shoe polish. They just clean off the spikes, and they don't put black shoe polish on it.
Yeah, no shoe polish. Thing of the past, definitely.
So Mike doesn't have to deal with the stuff his dad Lou had to deal with in Game 5 of the '69 series.
You know, we talked about the new era promotion with hats, and the Mets are wearing a different hat than they normally do, as are the Yankees again, once again. That would have bothered me, Michael. I wasn't really superstitious, but I had one hat I like to wear. You know, and I didn't want to change, especially if you had, you know, a winning streak going. It fit just right.
Hammered, foul. You know, you would see Major League players, they'd keep the same hat. You see the salt stains on it, so you knew that it had been with them since spring training.
Nowadays, it's hard to say. These guys use multiple hats throughout the years now.
McCann goes the other way, and Eric Young Jr. is there for the second out. Hey, after the final pitch, stay tuned for the Verizon Fios game wrap-up. We'll have a breakdown of tonight's action, plus news and more from the locker room. The Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on My 9, followed by Chasing New Jersey. Yankees lead 4-0. Here is Soriano.
Still remember the day that David Wells broke out the Babe Ruth hat that he bought. Pitched it at a Yankee Stadium. Got one, I think he got through one inning before Joe Torre made him take it off.
And from what I've heard, David, you could give us the facts that Joe was pretty chapped.
Joe was chapped. He ended up fining David Wells. Forget exactly what the fine was, $500, I think. And David Wells sold the hat for $35,000, so I think he made out okay.
Nice trade.
Original Babe Ruth hat. Who knew, right? Don Larsen's uniform from his perfect game ended up selling for well into six figures. $500,000 plus, up to $600,000 for Don Larsen's perfect game uniform.
Do you have your perfect game uniform?
I sent it to the Hall of Fame. They asked for it, I gave it to them.
1-1. 2-1.
Figured it was safer there. I'd probably leave it in my apartment somewhere.
Some closet.
Yeah.
Looped into shallow left field, but Tejada backpedals and makes a play, and Valverde retires the Yankees in order here in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-0 Yanks. Brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. Just 3 hits in there. A double by Eric Young Jr. Daniel Murphy picked up a single. And then you have to go down to Chris Young, who also picked up a single. Eric Young's was a double in the 6th inning. And that's the last hit that Tanaka has given up. He's been in control. He has once again been great with his control, David. No walks. And he leads 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Excellent game management. 60 strikes out of his 92 pitches.
Strike to Duda.
Consistently ahead. 20 of those now 93 pitches have been swung and missed at to go with those 7 strikeouts.
As we move along here in the bottom of the 8th, you'll see the out-of-town scoreboard at the bottom of your screen, brought to you by Nissan. Save big today. Shop. Choose Nissan.com. Now, Terry Collins was able to give his team a fairly, decent scouting report on Tanaka because he was a manager in Japan Tanaka's first 2 years there, but hasn't helped him so far. Duda pops up to Roberts for the first out. Before the game, Terry Collins talked about the difference between Japan and the United States pitching-wise.
One of the things they do in Japan is they pitch around the strike zone to see if you're going to swing. And then they have the ability to go in the strike zone if they want to. In the United States, you can't do that. You can't fall behind here. And so the guys who have the good enough stuff to challenge to go in the strike zone early in the count and get it and get away with it are great. This kid's great.
Terry managed the Oryx Buffaloes, and Tanaka played for the Rakuten Golden Eagles. Anthony Recker taps one to second base. 2 away. Well, we'd like to congratulate our tenants with the Nets on a very successful season, but a really sour ending. They lose in 5 games to the 2-time defending champion Heat. 96-94 the final score, but what makes it tough to take, the Nets were up 91-83 with 3 minutes left, and the Heat went on a 13-3 run to end the game and end the Brooklyn Nets season. But a good season for them, and congratulations to the Nets. And now the Heat move on and will play either the Pacers or the Wizards in the Eastern Conference Finals. Ruben Tejada with 2 outs here in the 8th. There's a strike. Another strike going to, he's got such precision, almost surgeon-like on the mound.
Just excellent reads of the bat. That's the thing about Tanaka. Everybody talks about, well, you know, he's getting a lot of swings and misses on balls out of the strike zone. I mean, maybe the league will adjust to them, but adjust to him at some point, but not really. I mean, he just like that, he's got great control. He can go right after you in the strike zone when need be. And if you start laying off those splitters down, even though they're very hard to recognize, first of all, the ability as a hitter to see it, recognize it, and lay off, very difficult. If that starts to happen, he'll start pumping fastballs in there. And he's got the ability to add a little velocity when that situation arises.
And he also can throw the splitter for strikes when he wants. Just started out a little higher.
Splitter for strikes, curveballs, and sliders. Terry Collins was right. He will test you. He will keep throwing him out of the strike zone if you're swinging. But if you don't, he very much will adjust right back and get the ball in the strike zone and throw a fastball by you if need be.
Strike 3. Tejada down looking. 8th strikeout for Tanaka. 8 in the books. Yankees lead this one 4-0. We'll go to the 9th. Warner Cable, Internet, TV, and home phone from Time Warner Cable, 1-855-WANT-TWC. By Delta, keep climbing. And by Papa John's. Remember, when the Yankees score 6 or more runs, get 50% off at papajohns.com the next day with promo code Yankees6. Beautiful shot on this Wednesday evening in New York City. That was the Brooklyn Bridge. Solarte takes a strike from Valverde. Well, Tanaka, once again, has thrown more than 6 innings. And he's done that in each of his 8 starts in the majors. And the only pitcher in Major League history with a longer streak than that is Seattle's Bob Stoddard. Over 2 seasons, he won 12 straight games with 6 innings or more. And coming into this game, now he has 8 strikeouts tonight. Tanaka was the first pitcher to debut in baseball's modern era, which is considered since 1900, and go undefeated with at least 50 strikeouts through his first 7 games in the majors.
Still very much in this game, too, looking to complete it and try to bring it on home.
And Solarte goes down on strikes, and Valverde goes through his gyrations. First base side of the mound. He had a brief stint as Met closer, and Terry Collins quickly moved to Kyle Farnsworth, whose stay at the closer position also might be brief. Roberts hits one hard to right center. Granderson runs it down for the second out. Roberts with 2 triples tonight, and the last guy to do that, Curtis Granderson, for the Yankees. 2 triples in a game, and that was in 2010 against the Angels. David Robertson is getting up, but this is a just-in-case warm-up because Tanaka is going to hit here against Valverde.
Yes, backing up at this point.
So he's going to start the bottom of the 9th inning at 101 pitches. Valverde still throws hard, 95 miles an hour.
Just thinking back to my childhood and thinking about the Mad Hungarian, Al Raboski, you know, we were talking about antics on the mound, or we saw Mejia with a little dance off the mound the other night in the Bronx.
Ground ball up the middle. How's this for a night for Tanaka? His first big league hit. He now has passed the entire Mets staff for hits in a season.
That look says it all. You don't want to be the pitcher that gives up the first major league hit to another pitcher.
So Jeter smiled before on the strikeout, and he smiles even more broadly on the base hit. I did not see David. I was looking at the monitor. Did they get the ball for him? They did get it, I'm told.
Valverde not amused, and then, of course, in the National League game, the pitcher gets to wear his jacket running the bases, so you got to wait. Zip it up, button it up.
David, do they really need the jacket? Did you really need the jacket when you got on first?
I don't know. Maybe on a cold night, you know, but no, it gets a little cool later. Yeah, I could see. Maybe it makes sense. You know, I never really wore one. I was, you know, I didn't want to embarrass anybody. I didn't want to take up too much time. I really felt like, you know, if you're on the bases and it's a close game, your job is to run the bases. Kind of an old school mentality. I saw Derek Jeter smile in the dugout with Tanaka's first hit, and I saw a grimace from Larry Rothschild. I don't think he's too comfortable with Tanaka on the bases right now.
They might be rooting for Brett Gardner to pop out here. They do not want Tanaka running.
remember Al Roboski's act. Boy, that's, you talk. Some people say, and the Yankee fans will understand this, when Jabba Chamberlain came up and his fist pumping and irritating opposition and histrionics. And I think Al Roboski had one of the biggest acts of all time.
That one is looped into left center. Backing up is Tejada and makes the play, and that will do it. So the jacket will come off, the glove will go on. He's going to go out to the mound and try to close this out. Breakdown of tonight's action, plus news and more from the clubhouse. The Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on My 9, followed by Chasing New Jersey. So when Tanaka came to the dugout after that hit, he gets congratulations from his teammates. Pitching coach Larry Rothschild, okay, congratulations. Can we talk pitching now? Get some water. And here's some last-minute instructions. And here he is on the mound to try to close out this shutout. Yankees lead 4-0. He's pitched a 3-hit shutout, 8 strikeouts, no walks. And he's going to face Bobby Abreu to start off the bottom of the 9th inning. He came in as part of a double switch with the pitcher. So a pitcher is batting in the number 5 hole. They'll have the pinch hit there if they get that far, but Abreu starts this off. And Tanaka deals a strike. In Japan, Tanaka had 18 career complete game shutouts. There have been only 2 Subway Series shutouts, David. The first Subway Series game ever was a shutout. Dave Malicki of the Mets in 1997. And Andy Pettitte had one on June 30th of 2002, also at Yankee Stadium.
Tanaka, potentially a night of first major league hit and first major league shutout on the line.
And there's a base hit to center field by Bobby Abreu. 4th hit against Tanaka.
See the shake of the head from Girardi on a 0-2 pitch, trying to come in. Didn't quite get it in where he wanted to and left it up and out just enough. And Abreu fights it off back up the middle. And the shake of the head from Girardi means, okay, now Robertson's got to start warming up a little more earnestly. And how far are you going to push it here for Tanaka?
Here's Eric Young Jr. And the first pitch is a strike. The 0-1. Low, 1-1. .106 pitches for Tanaka. Mets have a 3-game winning streak. The Yankees have a 4-game losing streak. Swing and a miss. Still has life on the fastball, 93 miles an hour. 2-2.
It's a great combination for Tanaka to have McCann back there helping him read the bats. As we mentioned before, what happens if they start laying off the splitter? Well, he can throw it right by you. That's what happens. Now they could go either way. Back to the fastball as Tanaka staring off to get to the splitter.
Grounded to second. Let's see if they can get 2. 1. Young's too fast. So they get the lead runner for the first out. So that's going to bring up Daniel Murphy. Murphy 1 for 3 to extend his hitting streak to 6 straight. One and 0. Hammered foul. The 1-1. Grounded back to Tanaka. He goes to second, dropped by Jeter. He picks it up and gets the force on Young. And Murphy will reach first, and here comes Terry Collins.
Well, it's going to be close. He's going to take another look as Tanaka with a good pitch, down and away, two-seamer, and kind of handcuffs Jeter with this throw. Jeter catches it in the heel, and does he have it?
Yep.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Young with a funky slide kind of got caught up.
Oh, yep, he's got the ball.
Definitely out.
Good call by Mike Estabrook. But Terry Collins is going to challenge, so the crew back at Baseball Advanced Media will take a look, and the umpires will listen in.
Nothing to lose. It looked like Young was anticipating a turn and started his slide a little early to try to get under the Derek Jeter relay throw. So the slide really hurt Young there.
The only thing that Tanaka has done poorly today is throw to second. The one ball that Solarte made a nice play on, that one to Jeter, was handcuffed, or handcuffed Jeter just a bit. Wasn't in the dirt like the one to Solarte.
Just a little low off the heel of the glove, as you see Jeter with two hands too. As Young tries to pop up out of his slide and then lunge towards the bag, you see Young getting down, anticipating a turn, and has to pop up and try to get there.
The call has been confirmed. Eric Young Jr. was looking at the big scoreboard in center, and Jeter kind of tapped on the back and said, okay, you can leave. So the Yankees are 1 out away, and here's David Wright. They will not hold Murphy on at first. Teixeira plays behind him. In his young major league career, Tanaka's high is 113 pitches. He threw it against Tampa Bay on May 3rd, so 1 away from that. David Wright is 0 for 3. This is the last chance to extend his hitting streak, which is at 11 straight. First pitch is strike.
Saw Joe Girardi there previously kind of trying to get Teixeira's attention. Rather than fully play behind the runner at first, you're kind of halfway. You just kind of play close enough just to keep him honest, not wanting to give up an easy steal or concede second base in this case.
Hit sharply right at Jeter, and a shutout from Masahiro Tanaka. 9 innings, he allowed just 4 hits, and he beats the Mets 4-0. The last Yankee shutout, Ivan Nova, in 2013 September against the Giants. The last Yankees road shutout, you have to go back to Phil Hughes on August 2nd of 2011 at Chicago, shutting out the White Sox. That's pretty impressive what we just saw, David.
Well, not only just the performance, but the timing. That is the definition of a stopper. The Yankees needed a stopper. They found one. And a big win for the Yanks to finally beat the Mets.
6-game winning streak the Mets had against the Yankees dating back to last year. And forget about beating the Mets, beating anybody now. And when you're losing 4 in a row and the Dobbers are down just a bit, and, you know, we debate whether or not he's a number 3 starter like Brian Cashman said, or he's an ace. He's an ace, and that's what an ace does.
Absolutely. 9 innings, full bullpen rest, complete mastery. Managed the game so well.
So 18 shutouts in Japan. His first shutout here in the major leagues, and he is joined by Meredith Maragovitz down on the field. Meredith?
Thanks, Michael. Masahiro, how much pride do you take in going to the distance for this team? First complete game shutout as a Yankee.
初めてのカウントだったですけれども、ちょっと振り返ってみていかがですか？
まあもう1イニング1イニングゼロに抑えようと思って投げました。
Just going inning by inning, and I got the result. So happy about it.
It almost